Wagwan, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. It is Wednesday, April the 16th. We are live at the New York Stock Market morning session, almost that afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Glad you can join us. All right. I'm not seeing the screen on here, but hopefully it is streaming away properly. Right.
You see you moving your cursor around.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it over on the other desktop, but hopefully, like I say, it is streaming. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Okay. All right, I'll take a look at the news for today, which is the 16th. And we had some retail sales.
Which was good for the currency.
Okay.
But it still didn't get above parity.
Yeah, it looks like they came in just about even with what their expectations. So, okay, and then the next red news that we have coming up today is at 1:30, which is when Mr. Powell's speaking.
Uh-huh.
Right? There's no other red news for U.S. anyways, other than that. So I thought there was some red news. Okay, at 10, but it's not red news. Okay. All right, so we are not going to be having any news this morning for us at all. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at Euro US dollar versus the US dollar. The US dollar is at the top this time, and the euro is at the bottom. So they're both quite flat currently, just going sideways. Sideways to down for the US dollar, and sideways to up for the euro. That's what we have, and one of them is off by a tad here, so make sure they're both in line. Now they are. Okay, so yeah, we have a sideways to up for the euro, sideways to down for the, so expected further drop on the US dollar. So further weakness is expected. So that should give us a little bit of strength, we would think, in the indices, but it's a little weak here on the 5. I'm going to look at the NASDAQ from the daily standpoint. Okay. So we have a 1, 2, 3 top on the daily. We have a big drop. So that kind of puts us in a fourth wave. So we'll be looking for a decline, like something like that. However, in this current leg right here, we're also in a fourth wave. So we need to come out of that fourth wave back to the upside one more time before we get that drop. So that's kind of how I've seen it from the 4-hour point of view. Let's go down from the daily point of view, I should say. Let's go to the 4-hour. So from the 4-hour, this is what it looks like. So there is that big, huge drop. Whoops. This big, huge drop. Pull back, big drop here. Puts us in a fourth wave. Then we get this big move here, drop, and now we're chopping. So we're chopping, and we could chop for a while here. That's possible. So again, we're inside a fourth wave at this point now. And expected move we could continue down for a little further, or we could turn around from this point and go up, and something like that is possible. Then something like that again, and then a final push, and then a final drop. That's totally a possibility here. So we're not sure exactly what's going to transpire in here because of course, we're in a fourth wave. So it's going to be interesting to see how this really plays out here. Okay, so on the hourly, I'm going to start looking just at the current leg on the hourly. And again, if I look at it from down here, there is our big move here, big push up. And again, we're chopping up and down in here. So yesterday, we were looking for them to take out this leg right in here, and they did that. So from this point of view here, we have gone up, down, and we would expect either we're done at this point here, or we still have another leg to come down, and then we go, or we're just going to be going from here. So we have to come in a little closer to see what exactly they're going to do in here. So make this a little bigger. All right, so now I'm just concentrating on this area. So if this is our 3 up here, then again we're still inside traffic jam area, right? So we got 1, 2, 3. We expected this move. At least I expected that move, and that played out. But are we done? Is the question. Is this the bottom of this current leg, or do we go down one more time and take it out? So it's looking like possibility of further drop. I'm just going to look at this leg now. So very choppy. So again, I was looking at it from yesterday this way, that we would go up and then come down and take out all these lows. They did it in a very interesting way, mind you. They kind of chopped it all up, much more so than I would have liked to have seen, but that's what they did. Then at this point, I was able to get a 1, 2, 3 here, and yet another one. Then this drop. So again, we're in that same type of movement. So this whole drop here, all the way down, could again be putting us into a fourth wave. So we could be looking for further drops here to take out these lows. Would you be in agreement with that, George?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah.
So after this drop to this level, we've bounced, and again we formed another 1, 2, 3. So we're getting this move down. So it looks like they're gunning to take out these lows.
Yeah,
that would be my first target area. And when we get here, we could bounce and then continue down one more time. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. I've marked this all up, and let's go to the 15. And again, it's becoming clearer now. So I'm just going to, this is our key controller is up here, right? These 2, 1, 2, 3s. Then we get to 3, 4, 5. We're getting this bounce. It would seem that we realistically, we should get another push up to take this high out first before we come down to take out these lows. However, it is possible for them to go down from here as well.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't see a big up move coming.
Well, we have a weak U.S. dollar, so that should portend strength in the.
Actually, well, I mean, the dollar could be pushing higher too. I mean, that's a marginal thing.
Let's see what the dollar looks like on the 15 as well. Okay, let's just see what the 15 looks like on the dollar. We're 3 minutes away from the start of the session.
The dollar looks like it could come down at this point, but
it's very choppy in here.
Yeah, yeah.
So that choppiness. So just similar to the index, we've had this big drop. They swept this low, they've moved up, and they're chopping it quite a bit here. So the chop is indicative of a fourth wave. So the move would be more than likely to the downside to take out these lows. So we have a very weak US dollar overall. So that is saying that if we get this drop on the US dollar, that we could get a bounce on the NAS and S&P. So it is a possibility here that we could bounce. However, it's also possible that we don't bounce and we just continue straight down. And because I have a 1, 2, 3 here, then I'm just going to look at this leg currently now, right here, to see. I'm going to go down to the 5. So on the 5 minute, we do have a 1, 2, 3 bottom here. We've gone up. This is chopping like a fourth wave type affair, but now they've come down quite a ways. So unless we turn around imminently and go back to the upside, this is likely to come down and take out these lows. So we'll find out in 1 minute here, less than a minute, which way we're going to go. So I'm going to take a look at 8 o'clock candle. Let's see where 8 o'clock is on. I'm going to go down to the 1 minute and find that 8 o'clock candle, which is right here. Okay, so 8 o'clock is right there. So the high since 8 o'clock is here. I'm going to try this again. And I think we're starting the session now. And the low since 8 o'clock is currently right here. So we're right at the low. This is the lowest point before the open. Right? All right, now we're open. So here we go. And we're getting the pushback off. So if I go to the 15 again, we're right into a very large gap here. So like I was saying, we could bounce from here because we're right at that sweet spot area where we could bounce and take out the previous highs. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the 5. So came into this area looking for that. This is the lowest point that we've come to since 8 o'clock this morning, Eastern. Let's see if we break that low. Again, go back to the 1 minute. So this is this dotted line here is dead center of that gap. We've just broken the low by just by a little tick there. So it's given us a sweep at this point. We've got a sweep here. Let's move up, retrace. We could do that. Let's see what Tesla has done so far. So Tesla opened the gap down. Wow, that's a crazy move there. So a little patience there, Peter. Your part is necessary. Yeah, not much to play on Tesla right now. So NAS again. Let's see what Bitcoin did right away. Bitcoin also dropped down. So Bitcoin looks good to go back up because we've got a 1-2, and we dropped all the way down. Fired back up, dropped again, sweep. So we need to sweep the high, possibly, and then get a 1, 2, 3 here to continue going back up again. So I'm going to just go a little higher on Bitcoin, 5. Okay, so, and 15. Okay, so pretty sloppy slide sideways stuff going on here, 30-minute. Okay, so here we go. Now we can see we've got a 1, 2 here, big drop. That puts us in a 4th wave here. So this move, we can likely go up a little bit, but we could come down, taking out all these guys down here. So a further drop in Bitcoin looks plausible. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, they could go down and take out these lows down here, certainly, right? One more drop on Bitcoin is a definite possibility. So something like that, boom, dropping up, and then another drop. So that would be, if that's the case, then NASDAQ would be doing something similar. Okay, so I'm going back to NAS again, 15. Looking like we could get a little bit of a bounce here, but it could be short-lived. All right, so we see if they will come back into this area here. We do have some, I'm going to mark this up a little bit here. We've got some gaps in here. Inverted gap right at the sweet spot area. So we could come back into that inverted gap and take a little ride from there back to the upside. So let's see if that is in the cards here. So we do have 2 inverted gaps. There's another one below as well. So if I put the fibs on here, you can see that this move so far we're right at 50% retrace. So we'd like to see it go below 50%. So ideally into this gap here, and we get a bounce. So that would be a buy opportunity at that point. Is there any place to put your stop in here? Not really. It's a little tough. Because if we do get in here, then our stop is going to be prohibitive, because we will be looking at that kind of area, maybe hide it under here, but still a little on the large size for a stop. Make this a little bigger so everybody can see. So I'm going to mark off the lower gap.
We have good volatility right now, Lennox, so we're getting some good swings out of this.
Yeah, we've come below 0.5 right there. We didn't touch into the gap. We just touched this order block, and that's it. And then we're taken off the order block. So quite interesting here. So the expectation is that we would drop into this inverted gap, but we did not. And so they just came to this red candle, and that was it. Just a little touch, and then they're taken off. So can we take out this high? That would be if we do not come back down to take out this low, which is still possible, and then we could go. Then we have another alternative, and that would be to take out the high and retrace and continue again like that. So that's possible.
We're tending towards more strength than weakness at this point.
And that would kind of make sense if the U.S. dollar continues its weakness. So.
And going up is moving towards point of control on a 5-minute chart. Well, on any chart, really. I should say a 5-day chart. That would be more correct.
Keep my eye on Bitcoin. So we've done that. We've gone. So the U.S. dollar is kind of falling here, a little, trying to come back down. We go back to the NAS again. Come on, man. Let's go. Here we are. Okay, so we are taking out that high. So this would have been a really nice buy here if we just dropped into this. So, you know, that would have been a good buy. My stop would have been a little large, but nothing totally dramatic, overly dramatic anyway. So we've got another gap right here. And we could touch into that again. And so I could put a buy on here. I'm not fast enough. Not even fast to even put a limit order at that point. It's just so quick. So a quick touch into that gap, and they could be gone now. We could just go straight up without any. Yeah. So very fast here, very fast. So looking for them to come back here, they did not. They just came to the order block, then breaking that high, coming back in to the gap. And then we should continue going up from here. So let's see if they're coming back again. Will they come back into touch twice? It's pretty close there. So second touch would give me and we just did. I'm looking at Bitcoin and NAS at the same time here. I got Bitcoin on my other screen and not paying enough attention. So I just missed another opportunity right there. So this was just a quick touch of the low, and then off they went. So that might have been my second chance that I've missed here to get a quick trade in to continue pushing up. So it looks like they want to go up and take out these highs up here. Oh, there's my chance again. Oh, and boy, they're going a lot lower down. So let me give it a shot. I'm a little late, but let's see if this will work. I was going to just put my stop underneath this candle. I didn't want to go down too low. Will that work? Just under there. See if we can get a good push to the upside here. And for a quick TP up at the high. If I can get, okay. Is that workable? Yeah, that's totally plausible there, right? I got some highs up here to take out. So that first hanging fruit looks good. So we're getting the first 1, 2, 3, another 1, 2, 3. So we should touch that. We should go up there. No problem if we can take out this high. We're good to go. So Tesla must be setting up as well. For you there, Peter. All right, getting a nice push here. Let me take a little partial here real quick. I can. Let's go here. I should just really stay the course with what I've got, but always not so bad to take a partial and bring my stop up. Don't want to bring it into break even yet because it's a bit tight. So I'll leave it right there, mitigate my loss. So let's see if we can make it to that target up there now. Without getting taken out. So I'm just hiding below this candle, below the gap. So I should be okay there. This gap should hold. But there's no safe really. You can just wick through and take me out at that point. That would give me my first loss in a long time, and they did. Okay, so at least I got a nice profit off of it in any case. So could jump back in at this point as well and continue back up. So had I left my stop, would I have been okay? Let's see. So my stop was right there. That might have been okay. So we didn't take this high, or yes, we did. We did take that high right there. And now we pull back. So we're still looking pretty good here for a continuation to the, they're taking out that low. So I wouldn't have been okay with my stop staying there. So that wasn't so bad to move it up at that point. All right, so very
take out that high on the future.
No. Let's see what the futures look like. Oh, the futures are completely different. Wow, that's interesting.
78, 74.
The futures look completely different in this. I don't have the.
Oh, I'm sorry. It did take it out by 25.
Wow, what a difference in the futures here on the NQ. Wow, it's completely different. And I've got this one here. This is the futures continuous contract, and this looks similar to the NAS here. So. Okay, so do I jump back in again to continue going back up, or are they done at this point? So I have to be careful because, remember we had this drop here, so they could come back to take out these lows before, that might be the extent of their move, but since they're coming back so much here, we do have a 1, 2, 3 here. We dropped, so yeah, we could come down and take out this low again at this point. So maybe that's why they're heading down so much. So we got to be careful in here. We're back to the inverted gap right here, and there's another one here. So if we pass through these, that might be it. So if that's the case, nice fake out that they came up into this gap here. Let me mark that gap. Didn't think that would really come into play. I thought we were heading for the highs right away, but not to be. So they came right up into this gap, and now we're getting rejection. But we didn't get a 1, 2, 3. They swept. Now we've swept here. Not much of a pullback, and then we're going straight down. It looks like they want to take out the lows. So if they do not go through these gaps, then we could still turn around and continue back up again. So pretty volatile right now. You see what the US dollar is saying. Still not really much here going on in the US dollar, but there is definite weakness to continue down, right? But we only have, we could do that again before we drop. So it's lots of volatility going on right now. It's a bit tricky right now. So we could turn around again and go back up to take out the highs one more time. That's a possibility. Or we can go just halfway up and then continue down. So which one will it be? I'm going to go up on the 15 and look at this again. So from this point of view here, it certainly looks like we're in a fourth wave here that we could drop through one more time. We've got a 1, 2, 3 here, and this drop, we could chop in here and drop one more time, taking out these lows. Still looking like we could take out those lows. If we can, so remember when Marquis was with us, trying to explain my train of thought on why we would take out these lows, and that was based on our 1, 2, 3 top. So chopping up in here, we're looking for them to come down and take out these lows. So that's what we expected. That's what occurred, and they took a long time to do it, but they did do what the expected was. So at this point here, we have a 1, 2, another 1, 2, then we get this big drop. So puts us in the fourth wave again, just like here. Same thing. They put us in the fourth wave at this point, and then they chop it all up. And so it's the same kind of thing. They're chopping it all up in here. So it's very difficult to ascertain exactly what the plan of attack is. Like I say, there are two scenarios. We could go up and take out the highs. They could come straight down. They could chop it up. So there are three scenarios really, So if we can figure it out, then we can make some dollars in here. So let's come back on the 5 minute again. So we know that we're in a fourth wave area. So
right now we're really in that fourth wave.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation here.
Like it wants to create
back up again.
E level of the fourth wave.
Yeah, this is tough right now. It's a bit tricky. You have to be in and out quickly if you're going to play in here, because they're not holding any punches here. They're not taking any prisoners with them. They're just.
I think the ultimate thing is going to be down to break through the low.
Okay, so now we've gotten a 1, 2 here. Now they came back up, and looking to take out this low here. So that could propel us straight down.
That will propel us straight down. Let's put it that way.
Interesting. Well, remember this was a sweep. This was a sweep, so that's our high. So this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're sweeping the low.
Yep.
So they don't have to take out this low at this point. They can still bounce back up, taking out this high again, come back in, and then still go up. So there's a lot of
below first.
Don't think they're going to do that. It doesn't look so, but we shall find out here momentarily.
Things are still very dynamic, though. Volatility is still high, so expect some big wicks and tails at this point.
I got a nice fractal here. This is usually a buy for me at this point because this beautiful fractal here. But we'll be looking for them to take out that high. So are we done, though, is the question, or do we go through one more time?
There goes your fractal.
Yeah, so they are taking out the lows. Okay.
Okay, it took out the lows.
Yeah. Let me see what the S&P did it right there. So, oh my, see what we should have looked at the S&P, because look at the divergence there. I didn't even, I'm looking at it too late, unfortunately, but there's the divergence that they threw at us.
Up versus down.
Yeah, that was very, very not good. That very slick of them there, because the divergence on S&P was telling us what the truth was. The truth was we were heading down to take out the lows, but because I didn't look at the S&P with the divergence with the NAS, I didn't see that that's exactly what they were going to do. So I'm speculating on the NAS, and S&P is telling me the truth. So the truth is that is a definite 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to take out the low. All right, so we're going to look for this to turn around and go back up now. So no problem here. Now we've got them. Now I see what they're doing. Okay, so if I go to the S&P and look on the 5-minute, we're in that big, huge gap. I'm going to go up to the 15, just get a better picture of it. All right, so we're still inside this huge gap here.
Yep.
Big gap here. So let's see. Just going to, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Let me try it again. Okay, so we're inside that gap. They're looking like they just want to go straight down and take out the lows at this point. But that was a very sneaky play here. So on the 5-minute, this leg here, very sneaky on their part. It was divergence with the NAS. So that gave us
They're going to take out the lows at the low at 2 o'clock this morning.
If they're going to take out the low down here, then we need a bounce here first before we can go. So they can go straight, of course, but it would be nice to get a retrace here to do that. So I would expect a little bit of a retrace here. So we do have a gap on the 5 here. So can we get a retrace back up? That might be helpful. So on the 1-minute, can we go back up one more time in here before we continue down? So yeah, the S&P was telling us the truth right there. That was signaling that was our 1, 2, 3 top. We get the 3, 4, and this drop. So now we need to retrace back up, and that would be a sell opportunity to come back down again. All right, so I like this setup now. So on the NAS, I'm going to go to the 15 on the NAS. And we're still inside that big 15-minute gap. We just came outside of it for the first time. So I'll be looking for a retrace here. Do we get it, or do they just go straight for those lows? Right?
Might have missed the retrace.
So I'm going to mark this low here. This would be our closest hanging fruit now. They look like they want to just go straight without even giving us a retrace at this point. Possibly. We're not that far away from that low, so.
You're 20 handles from that low, roughly.
And there's another low below that low, so.
Below that low, the next one down is like 200 handles down.
No, like there's another one just below that, right there. So there are two lows right.
Oh yeah, well I took the lowest one.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the 5. So looking for a bounce here now. Let me see what Tesla is doing. Yeah, Tesla still hasn't done anything really. It's just chopping.
Or down
so
to
not much play for Tesla there on Tesla at this point. So, but the NAS is really.
NAS is kind of leading the way.
So they need to give us a bounce here. I don't know if they will or not. So. Not many gaps over here. No gaps. No gaps whatsoever, not like the S&P. So just an inverted gap now here. So can we get a push back to the upside? There's an inverted gap here, so we could come back up here. So what I'm looking for is just, let me get this guy here, this low to this high.
I don't really have any gaps in the future.
50% retrace area. So if we can come back up in here, that would present a good sell.
We're working on that one right now.
I'm feeling it this morning. I stayed up way too late last night, but I stayed up for a reason last night. I was in a trade on NAS right at the end of the night there. Right
Nice
in
trade last night on NAS. Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Yeah, so I stayed up last night and played this. It was 1 o'clock in the just after 1 in the morning my time. So about 4 o'clock, I jumped in and I said it. I jumped in on a 1, 2, 3. Let me go down. If I go down to the 1 minute, you'll see it much clearer there. Let me go to 4 o'clock at 1 on the 1 minute. Just show you. So my wife is telling me go to bed, and you got to get up so early. So I said, I just gotta get this trade here. So it was just chopping sideways. I thought I was expecting one more drop down here, but I said, you know what, I'm just gonna put the trade on, and put the trade on, and this all of a sudden, boom, this occurred. I set my target for the previous high over here. Let's see if I can spot it. Yeah, so that was basically, I set my target for this high. Whoops, that high. And that was it. Caught that. I mean, I really could have gone much higher, but I just wanted to go to bed, so I set it there. I figured, okay, it might take a while before they get there, but it was done in minutes, in seconds. Yeah. So my trades from yesterday, just crazy. I'm up to 348,000 now, almost. So if that trade, so I had one little loss, and I had a loss last night right there. But after that, I didn't have anything. That one trade netted me $48,000 just before I went to bed last night. So there's my trade this morning for 900. And, okay, so for after that, I just had that one loss, and then I was just
okay. We hit my first target.
So quite the. So you're in a cell, George?
Yeah.
So very close. They hit that low, first low. So looks like that might be it. They might not take out the next low.
I don't think it's going to take out the next low. My next low is way down there. It's
You're on the futures, right?
200, almost 200 handles down.
No, I'm talking about the immediate low. There's a low just below that low.
No, I got all those on the futures anyway.
Yeah, but the futures is not showing that. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's totally different on the futures. Completely different chart. Okay, so we're turning around.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I took the first low out. There is another low that is at 502. Yeah. Okay. It's 15 handles below this current one. Yeah. And it should take that out too, I would think. But
I'm pretty bullish on it, and I'm thinking it wants to go down to about the 1800s to take out all that liquidity down there.
You're pretty bearish, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, because we've come down and taken out that low, we could see a retrace now.
It came within
before we continue.
6 handles of taking out that low.
So this could be a quick
We
play back
might
to
be
the
a turnaround situation now.
Yeah, we could get a push back to the upside here. We're right at we're in the macro, and now we're at the in the algo at 10 o'clock. So the algo has kicked in. So do we get this push back to the upside? This is a very tempting buy here. Let's see what S&P is doing. S&P is the same, so no divergence now at this point. Everything's the same. So S&P. I go to the 15 on the S&P. They did not take out the low on the S&P, but they did come out of the gap by a little bit. So we could get a bounce here before we continue going down because it looks very weak overall, right? And that would be the takeaway. Bitcoin is not really doing much. I'm watching Bitcoin on my other screen. It's just kind of chopping around as well. So we're not getting any big movements here that would give me the cushy feeling of jumping into a trade here. It's just nothing standing out. If a possible move back up to here, that's what I would expect at this point. So it is a tempting buy, but I'm going to wait for, if it does come back up here, I'll look to sell up here to come back down, because I think that's a lot more, it's a better opportunity if we come back up here to sell. So in essence, I'm looking for the entire retrace of this move here. So 50% takes me right into this gap here, which is an inverted gap. There's a very small gap here, but I would expect them to go higher than this. Continue going through this gap. So wouldn't expect them to turn around yet. Coming up there. Okay, Tesla is trying to make a little push out. Still mired. So Tesla, lots of pressure on Tesla here right now because stuff got dropped. So they could fake everybody to go along and still take everybody out, take out these lows. So be careful about wanting to go long there. So NAS looking like we come back up in here, but we want to continue going down after retracing. So we're touching very close to that 50% area, so almost there. They took out the high.
I just grabbed 75 handles.
George, you're very nimble.
Well, I mean, this is the algo time.
Yeah, but we're not going the right way. I want to be going down, I would think.
Well, I didn't push it that high.
Well, you don't want to, you know, we do have a 1, 2, 3, but it's very small, so
Right.
we might not go very high here. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. This is a good spot for a sell now. So I'm going to see if we get a fractal here to sell. I'll wait for the fractal. We've got another inverted gap, but that's from a long way away. We did come back and touch it, so yeah, this is, you know, I could have just sold it right in there. Let's see if we get a fractal here. So the fractal might take us right back into this gap. Look for a sell here. Okay, so it's giving me a sell signal right there. So let me sell it right there and see if we continue dropping from here. My stop would be above the high. They have to go back up and take me out if I'm wrong here. I just went into Bitcoin, but I realized that it's got more push to the upside to come just in the short term. That's the US dollar, sorry, Bitcoin here. So I didn't realize I was on the 5-minute actually. So I was on the 5-minute time frame, and it looked like, okay, that maybe I could sell it here, but I just realized I was on the 5-minute and dropped down to the 1 minute. And then when I went to the 1 minute, it's a totally different story. It's saying, nope, wait a minute, don't sell yet, because we still have another push to go take out these highs first. So just going to hold off. Took a quick profit on it, but all right. So can we continue down without taking me out here? That might be a problem, because I just once I saw Bitcoin now, they could go up one more time to take that high just to be mean.
Hey, NASDAQ is just moving. Well, it touched VWAP.
Looks like they might want to take me out here without giving me a little drop, which I was looking for here. It looked like we were going to drop right away, but they said not so quick.
They could do it, but right now, went up and touched VWAP, and we'll see what happens. It's working in a positive mode at this point, but
yeah, had I looked at the NASDAQ and the S&P when we were up here, I would have seen the divergence with the S&P. That would have been a sell right in here to catch that move down. So that was an oversight at that point.
kind of looks like I got out of my trade at a good time, but
And they can still go higher here. They're looking like they want to take me out. So yeah, I don't even want. yeah, I'm not going to move my stop and leave it there. I'll take the loss. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd have been safe above this candle here or not. This might have been
Volatility
safe.
dropped a tad, but not too much, really.
Yeah, so they could just be, this could just be a little sweep at this point. But will they take this high? Might not have been safe here either. But I didn't have any other place to really put my stop. So it's either above this high or above the high that made the fractal. But they've taken me out. So that's a quick sweep of these guys. They didn't sweep this one. Interesting. So, but they did come back into the gaps here. So now I'm getting a nice fractal again. So see if I can get a little bit of a retrace here. So we might break this low first, and we could get a retrace, and that would be a good to sell here. So now Bitcoin is doing what I was expecting. They just went up and took out that high just by a tick, but they did not take this high, interestingly. And now they're pushing back. So the question is, are they done? They've swept this low now. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could still go up one more time, take out equal highs now because we have relatively equal highs. So they could still go back up one more time, take out those highs. So it's still a possibility here. You see how here they came down 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and we did not get a fifth wave here. Very, very interesting on that. So it tells us that we're in a fourth wave. We are in a chop. See that we're in a just choppy affair. And so they don't have to give us 5 waves in there. That was our time. We're at 7, we're at 15 after the hour now.
I'm on the future. I counted as 5 waves down.
Yeah, look at that. They're not even giving us a retrace now. So that was nasty. They took me out by a couple of ticks here and no retrace to give me a chance to get back in. So the expected move, of course, is to take out this low. So I was looking for a quick sweep and a little bit of a retrace, but they said, nope, we're not doing that for you at all. We're just going to go down without you.
This is going into a messy area. I'm calling it maybe a wave 4 type motion. The first one that I said was down to 5 would become a 3. And then we have an A, a B, and that kind of stuff.
Okay, I've got another little gap here. This is essentially a fifth wave that we're in right now. George, we've just done 1, 2, 3. This is our 4. So we're in a fifth wave to take out this low. So I was just looking for a bounce here, a retrace, but I don't know if they're going to give it to us. Still could, but the more they drop, the less likely it is that they're going to come back up. And they're doing the same thing on Bitcoin. I'm looking for a deeper retrace here on Bitcoin, but I was looking for them to come back into that gap, but they didn't. They just came within a whisker of going in, and so I didn't get a chance to catch it to come down. So again, it was still a possibility that they could go back up and take out those equal highs, but I'm in a fourth wave, so they don't have to do that, but you would kind of expect them to do that. But yeah, it's very tricky because we're in a large fourth wave from the higher time frame. So there's no guarantee of what you can get when you're in this kind of chop. Very volatile, very choppy stuff here, so you got to be really careful. All right, still looking for a retrace here, back up. Will we get it? There's another gap formed. I'm just marking these off so I can be aware of them. If I can set an inverted gap here. So this inverted gap can act as resistance once we get past it. So do we get another bounce, or is that it? Let's take a look at it from the higher time frame. So still pointing down. They can take out this low one more time.
Yeah, it's set on that, but how much of it is going to do is another story.
So we have
It's
two
still
lows.
The preference right now is down.
Yes, sirree.
Strong one.
Yeah, lots of pressure to the downside. So if you can get in.
I'm going to sit on my hands on this one.
But we're not getting any retraces, so they're not giving anybody a chance to get in.
Well, you were able to get in, weren't you?
No, I got stopped out by a couple of ticks there.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's this volatility that we have now.
Yeah.
I mean, it dropped about 2 ATRs, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah, that was sneaky of them to go and take out that, but they didn't take this high, so my stop would have been fine above that high. I didn't think that if they were going to come back up, I would be safe on either of those if they took this one out, but they didn't take that out, so I would have been okay. So I'm getting a retrace now, so let's see how far up we go here. Yeah, we should get another push up. So Bitcoin is looking like they want to go up to take out the highs. So there's again, I'm watching two things here, so I'm not paying attention enough. So I might have missed my chance to had my chance right there. I was just looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's pushing right back up to their highs. So yeah, I might take the sell here. And then that's a little higher up. One more push. Up we go into the gap.
That's following NASDAQ quite.
There we go. So that's what looking for, that push up into this gap. So
NASDAQ did the same thing.
Yeah, this is the NAS. So now we're gonna hide my stop, right? I don't want to really put it way up here. That's way too much risk.
It just touched VWAP again. So it looks like my number would be different than yours, but I guess I would be not even feeling quite that safe at the that immediate high.
Yeah, I should be okay about here with my stop. I'm on the higher point of this wick, so we should turn. So you see what
Bitcoin up, and that would be toast.
You see what Bitcoin did, so that's why I'm a little bit reticent there. I mean, just a bit, skeptical about NAS. NAS can take me out because
Yeah,
we've
we're
got this nice move on Bitcoin. That's what I was expecting them to take out those highs. So now I'd be looking for a sell on Bitcoin to come back down. So, all right. So hopefully NAS is done its move now to the upside, and we should turn and continue down without taking me out here. So it looks like that's the case, maybe. Let's see if that occurs here. So I'm trying to be stingy with my stop, so I could be in jeopardy, but it looks pretty good that I should stay alive. Maybe here. Again, I might be a little tight, but I'm on the higher end of the wick, so I should be okay, really. But there is really no okay ever. They can just, with a wick, take you right out. So
yeah, I've been looking at this current move as the wave C. Which means that high point that you have at, let me see what the time is it. We have the possibility of breaking the 10-12 high, but
don't want to see them doing that.
yeah, I know, but I've just been viewing this thing as a wave C.
We're getting a nice fractal here, so that hopefully will suffice here. We'll continue dropping. If they take this high out again, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah, well,
I could be in trouble here. They took the high.
your fractal just disappeared on the future.
Wow. Looks like I'm going to die again. That's not good. Wow. So they're gunning for that high. Interesting. So I didn't want to put it above the high because I figured, okay, if they're going to go and take me out above
Right.
the 3/4 area, they're going to take out that high. So yeah.
They took it out.
So that didn't work. All right. So not working here for me this morning. I need to go back to bed. All right. So for those on YouTube watching us today, we are the Simple 1, 2, 3 traders. It's a simple concept that we have simple model, but it's not an easy thing to trade, as you can see. Sometimes it works quite well. Often, most of the time, it works quite well. This is what we're looking for, a 1, 2, 3 like that. We count it as 1, 2. This is a low point here, and then 3. So we're looking for fractal high, fractal low, and this doesn't have to be a fractal high on the number 3 point, but in this case that was, and that's nice. And basically all we're looking for is a retrace of the number 1 and number 2 points back into number 3 point, and that retrace would typically be a 50 to 62% retrace of the number 1 and number 2 points. This is all we're looking for. The rule is simple. We cannot break number 1 point. Number 3 point cannot break number 1 point. Otherwise, that invalidates the 1, 2, 3. Once we get into the number 3 point area, we can enter on a fractal or into a gap, which is not necessary for us. We can also use order blocks and so forth. But again, not necessary. This is the key, the 50 to 62% retrace area that we're looking for. And then we'll be taking that trade down from the number 3 point area to the 1.618 Fibonacci target area. And that area is just an area. So we could be 1.6414, 1.618, 1.272, 1, number of targets that you could pick. You can even target here the previous low and so on. So that's our 1, 2, 3, and it's again quite simple. This looked pretty good to perhaps continue. That's what I was expecting, but I've got taken out. So once that happens, my 1, 2, 3 is nullified. we've broken that level. So I have to look for a new 1, 2, 3 now, and that's basically it. So if I still feel that we're going to fall, then I would be still looking for a 1, 2, 3 to continue down.
What's interesting, Lennox, and I didn't take the trade, but the first green candle or your bottom candle there looked to me like it was going to form a second algo. And when I look at my 3-minute Fibonacci, it said it proved it. And lo and behold, it never went any further than about 70 some handles again. I didn't take it, but you know, it really looked that way. So I had called that a wave C, ABC. And so,
Not so, yeah, and I kind of thought that we were 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'd be getting 1, 2 here to go down, but they said nope. So it's that we're in a different type of structure.
yeah, that's what I'm looking at right there. Is
so once you're wrong here and they don't come down, then we're in a totally different structure. So I'll be looking for a sell still.
Yeah, that's right. I agree that there should be a sell coming up.
Are we done? Are we done this move to the upside is the question now.
But we're doing a sell on an upward moving wave 4, so this could be even trickier. You're better at this than I am. I have to sit these out.
Not so far this morning. Let's see if I can make my losses back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we should be done here. I don't think we should take this high again. So I'm gonna.
No, I agree with you. That seems like it's a fair point. It's just that with this volatility, you have quite a few options as to where you might be able to get in.
They might still, but I'm kind of thinking they might be done here. So I'm looking for the fractal. Got about 15 seconds to wait for the next candle. If I can get a fractal here, I'll take the sell because I think our structure is complete. But they could be, again, really sneaky and take me out up here. So have to be careful.
Don't you have a fractal there?
No.
That red candle sticking up as a fractal.
I'm talking about right here. Okay, now I've got my fractal.
Okay. Yep.
So I'll take the trade now.
You got it now. Unless it,
right. So,
well, I shouldn't say that because this candle isn't closed yet.
So I'll put my stop above the high here. Yeah. Actually, I'm not going to put it right above the high. I'm going to put it just above the previous high. So let's see if we can continue straight down here this time.
That looks like it's in the cards right now for that.
We need to break this low candle's low here.
And our volatility is continuing to drop a little, but it's still very spiky. I'm waiting for my next 3-minute candle to verify that you got in at the best possible point.
Okay, big move down here.
Okay, we just touched VWAP again. So if you go under VWAP now, you should be in good shape.
We did sweep the low. So let's see if we can continue straight down.
Yeah. Anyway, it looks like we have formed a 3-minute reversal candle.
So I'm going to move my stop here because I should be safe here. If I'm wrong, they'll go back up and take me out at that number 3 point that I have there. So my number 3 point is either safe there, or I'm going to be taking out that. If they take that out, that would mean they're going back up to take out the high. So that could be a possibility. So I'm just mitigating, bringing my loss possibility down.
It's,
If they decide they don't want to go down at this point, which is still a
we're in a
possibility.
consolidation area again, so if you move your stop too low, it's fodder for them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're on our 8th candle of the consolidation move. It should, it's trying to get it below.
You're playing around a little bit here again.
Yeah, well, look at how many candles you have in consolidation.
See how it looks on the 5.
And
Yeah.
we're
It's still a
upward
possibility they can go up and take that high, but because I do have a 1, 2, 3 here, so it is possible they can go up higher for whatever reason. I don't know if they're gunning for these highs, but I'm expecting them to drop it. But yeah, it's a bit dicey at the moment. Not.
Were you able to take off any?
No, could have, but. Okay, so it would look like they might want to take out number 3 point, which would mean that they want to take out the number 1 point.
Yeah. That wasn't there. Bad possibility. It looks like it's trying to go up at this point.
Yeah, it looks like they might want to take that high out again, possibly, but can we get a drop here or not? Okay, so they've taken me out again, so I'm not having a very good time of it this morning. But it's all good. I had a $48,000 trade last night, so this is nothing. Okay, so would I have been better off putting my stop above the high rather than above this high? And let's see. If they continue down now without me, then I'll wait for a breach of this low, retrace, and look to get in at this point. So let's see if they do take out that high. So again, stop placement is critical. So technically my stop should have been above the high, but I thought maybe I could hide it above this high. So
well, they didn't take you out yet.
They did.
They did. That's this volatility kicking in, and boy, it's dropped it more. The volatility has dropped again. We're almost at, it just hit normal volatility right now. But it still looks like the up move is this is what is a problem, and why I like my 7 candle rule. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 candles. And might be making up its mind now, but
well, not in this case because I have a 1, 2 here, so it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. So I should have been okay. I put my stop.
Yeah. You got it later, but
I put my stop a little tight maybe, and that could cost me here. But I can wait for a breach here and a retrace to see if I can catch it here. If we're coming down, I mean, we could be just gyrating here as well, and they could still go up one more time. So it's a bit dicey still. There's no
Yeah.
guarantees here whatsoever. So
Okay, we just went below VWAP, but with its tail, but it looks like it wants to move down now, and whether it takes out the from VWAP 98. Well, whether if it can go down about 60 handles now, if it can get some momentum behind it.
okay, so we did make a tiny gap. It's very tiny. We're touching it, so that could be a sell. But again, I'm a bit skeptical because it is choppy. So they could go up one more time to take out the equal highs before we come
Just
down.
moved the yeah, you're right. They just moved the volatility up again. VIX is still at 30 right now.
And we've got divergence on S&P again. So there's divergence here with S&P. So
Yeah.
NASDAQ took out the high, but S&P could not. So which one is, again, telling the truth? And again, it looks very choppy here. So we could
This is the beauty of wave 4.
go higher. They could push up one more time, take out these highs before. So yeah, it might have been a little bit too early on my entry there. So I jumped into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's saving me again as usual. So getting a nice move down on Bitcoin. So
Okay, we're
getting nice profits on Bitcoin.
NAS is right at VWAP. Just went up again. Oh boy, it's playing these games.
Okay, so we're back into that gap again. It's a very tiny one, like I said, but they could push right through, take out these.
We could push through the top again, but this is all from where I was talking about that of this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 16 candles in this consolidation move. Right?
Yeah, we're very much consolidating for sure here. Yeah, so it was a bit premature thinking that we could drop right away. They said, no, let's smash it up a little bit. So when all else fails, I turn to Bitcoin to help me out.
I haven't looked at Bitcoin.
Okay.
That's a 4-hour chart. Well, Bitcoin's trying to move higher now.
Yeah, I think we should be done on Bitcoin going up.
No. Haven't taken out the previous high. It's starting now. It created a nice gap in there at this point. If it can closes, this candle closes.
All right, so the NAS has taken out the previous highs now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
we're getting that push up. So we could go up a little higher. So they're going well, quite a ways up into this area, which I wasn't expecting them to go that high up in there. That's why I thought that at this point we would just go down from here, but they've taken these out. So they're pushing up a little higher than I would have expected at that point. So let's see where they might be going to if Yeah, I really wouldn't think they would come
No,
back up
I mean,
here.
really have to go to the high, which
Yeah.
is
Not much of an algo going on here, though.
which is 40 handles higher than this. No, no, both these algos that I spoke about were extremely short, 75 handles each, 80 handles, whichever you could get in at. Okay, we're just getting ready to take out the Bitcoin high. We have beautiful gaps forming in here in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I don't want them to take out the Bitcoin high, but it's possible.
We're almost there.
Big spike here to
Almost.
equal highs up here. Interesting. Did not expect them to do that, come all the way up here, but they have. So, all
That
right.
means they're going for the point I said.
Well, this could be just a big wick here. We'll see. I wouldn't expect them to take the high. That would kind of mess up our structure.
That high is a double high. Okay, your Bitcoin is at a new.
Yeah, Bitcoin took out the high. So, yeah, crazy turn of events there.
You made back whatever dropped on the NAS, that's for sure.
How's our time? Okay, we got 15 minutes left. All right, so I'm looking for a sell still here. Everything's still pointing to a drop possibly here. So you can see, Marquis, it's this. They really play. So we've got a 1-2 here, another 1-2, another 1-2. So this whole thing really becomes 1-2, and then we get this drop. So this is a fourth wave move. They've come up a lot higher, and I can see why now, because this whole thing is a 1-2. So we could come right up into that area, and that's what they're doing. And now we could, I'm still looking for them to come back down, take out all these lows. So
yeah, you see, I'm looking at this as we've just finished wave V.
So are they going to push one more time up into this gap? It looks like that's.
It's either going to take out that high, which it didn't do.
We should now. We should take out this. Whoops. We should take out this high here into this gap, and we could take out those highs over here. And then we would
when we have this kind of volatility
heading down. So quite an interesting little move here. So what they've done is essentially given us 5 waves this way. So very nice and sneaky here, but I see it from the higher time frame now. So I'm looking for one more possible push here to take out this high. That would be the expected move. If they don't, then it would be a 1-2 to drop. But I would expect one more push above that high. See how S&P is doing. S&P is doing the same thing. So on S&P, I would expect that move as well. I would expect one more push to take out this high.
Looks like we're having more sells than buy that they're posting here. But with this kind of volatility, you can't be sure. I've got one turnaround on candle on my 3-minute. So what are they going to do? No, they're almost neck and neck in whether they want to go up or down. So volatility has just dropped to normal at this point. VIX has remained the same at 30.
Got a gap right here, so I'm expecting them to bounce off this gap and to go back up one more time. But if not, then they're coming straight down without giving us another leg up.
Yeah, right now it's looking like a higher probability for a down movement. I've got my second turnaround candle on the 3-minute chart. I don't want to take the trade though because it's in this crazy wave 4.
Okay, so another push to the upside coming.
Totally possible.
So right off this gap, see if we get it.
I don't think you have it's not that big of a gap, but it's there. Here we come. Let's see if it's going to try to hit it.
S&P is the same. So do we get one more? Okay, we got to get in a fractal there. Oh, no, we took it out already. So we can't go back up, which I would expect that we'd go back up. It's a tempting buy, but it's just a small move, mind you, but looking for more of the bigger move back down to take out these lows, but
yeah, the emphasis is more to the downside right now. But this crazy market, who knows?
all right, we are getting a fractal. So I'm going to attempt a buy here just to go back up, take out these highs. So let's see if I'm correct. I'll put my stop right below that wick. So my risk is very tiny. So if I'm wrong, they'll take me out. But the gap is holding. So
got my second down 3-minute though, so be very careful. Well, you have a very close stop, so you should be all right.
Okay, so looks like I'm going to be wrong. It's going to take me out. So nope, that wasn't the bottom right there. So not having any luck here at all on NASDAQ. Bitcoin has saved me. Okay, we'll get another fractal, so I can try one more time here. I'm just a diehard, so I will give it another shot. Okay, here we go. So my risk will be the low again. I'll put it at the same low because if they're going to come down again and take that same low, they'll take the low. Let's see if we can push right up to this gap up here this time. So a sneaky takeout there, but the gap's still holding. See, so that's why I'm going back in, because the gap is holding. Just the wicks killed me. Tails there.
My 3 minute is showing that it hasn't figured out what direction it really wants to go in.
So my TP would be midpoint of this gap up here. Something like that. Take out these highs up here. So will I be able to make it there?
My 3 minute candle is a doji right now.
So if they don't do it, if they don't go up and take that, then I'm doomed again. So we're getting a 1, 2, 3 now. So I had my fractal entry, and now they're pulling back below. So I could be in jeopardy, but I'm still expecting them to go up one time here.
Volatility is dropping. VIX hasn't dropped at all. They're pushing. My signals are pushing slightly lower, but no guarantee of which direction it wants to end up in. Looking like the low is the more obvious direction.
Oops, so that didn't work again. Wow. Very vicious playing here. Vicious playing. Okay, so that they went through the gap, closed below it, taking out the low. So they're saying, okay, 1, 2 this way, and we're going to head down. So all right, they don't want to give us that extra leg up here. Quite interesting. All right, so we've got a sweep and a retrace. So everything's pointing to a sell all of a sudden now. So
yeah, you have a 1, 2, 3 top that doesn't excite me that much because it's not a nicely formed 1, 2, 3. So this will probably be the one that is the good one.
yeah, they could just take off here now to the downside without me. So I was looking for one more breach and then looking for the 1, 2, 3 to drop. So they're saying, no, we're not going to go up there at all, and we're just going to drop. So it's hilarious. All right, so the expectation has been wiped out. Okay. All right, so in the interim, Bitcoin is giving me nice profits. I've got up almost $5,000 in Bitcoin, so I'll take it. Just ridiculous on the NAS right now. So, okay, so 1, 2, 3 here. So I've made all my losses back with Bitcoin trades. which is great. So 1, 2 again, sweep. So there's another sweep here. And one more time, I'll look for a retrace. And this would be the key. If they take this guy, then we certainly would collapse here. So,
I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
oh, that's Armin. We're gone in three minutes.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I've been with you since open, so thank you for your
Oh,
analysis.
I'm going back to bed here now.
Yeah. I didn't realize I had my microphone off.
Oh, okay.
I said good morning, but I
Yeah,
wasn't
I
awake
didn't
enough
hear-
to see that
Didn't hear you at all. So
my switch on my microphone was I was on, the microphone button on the. I was wondering why you didn't say hi back. Now I understand.
and we're going to test out the Teams.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
So we will be hanging out for a little bit. Anybody who is willing to test out the Teams, who's here, Omar and Stacy. Oh yeah, Omar needs to test it out. Stacy needs to test it out. Peter needs to test it out as well. Yourself, Armin, you need to get Teams up and running because we're going to switch over from Skype to Teams. All right. So in Skype there, just click on the button to switch over to Teams. And to get everybody using Teams, and maybe next week start, because we're running out of time with Skype. All right.
Lennox.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all. Yes. Well, I had trouble getting onto Skype. I'm actually using Skype on my mobile phone. Yeah, it's a challenge. Because
Always is.
Yeah, even on Teams, I'm not seeing the S123 group. So
I mean, it should have brought everything over for you when you converted over. So I'm not sure. I wasn't seeing it at first as well. I didn't see S123 live when I converted over on my iPad. I didn't see it, but then it showed up after I got some messages. So not sure.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday, but it took a while to show. But it's not showing up. It hasn't showed up from morning, and it's the same thing with Skype. That's why it took so long to get on, because I just said, let me try it on my mobile phone and see if I see it, and I did that, and I saw the app there, and the S123 group, but it's not on Skype or Teams at all. Might eventually show up, but for convenience, when you want to sign on immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
well, you do a search for it, right?
Yeah, I did search. Yeah, I did search, and yeah, it didn't come up. Yeah, but
yeah, I can't help you at all. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, technology have its challenge, benefits and challenges.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. So interesting here. We're at the 11 o'clock hour. So they just came back up and swept that high. Interesting. So we get a 1-2. Looked like we were going to get another 1-2 to drop, but instead they went up and swept the high. So they're taking anybody out who's selling, and now they could come down, take out this low. So I'd kind of wait for that low, and then so I would do something like this if you're a patient trader, wait for this low to be swept, retrace, and then that would be a sell at that point. It would look like that would be what they're trying to do here. But yeah, very, very crazy looking stuff going on here. Just not giving me like I say, the cushy feeling of really taking any serious moves to down. I'm expecting them to drop it, but they're playing games as usual. So with Bitcoin, I see it seems to be a little bit, Bitcoin's giving me a little hard time now, but it seems to be a lot easier to see what's going on with Bitcoin. So again, I would wait for a breach. Wait for that. We're getting a gap here, so that would work out nicely for them to come back in. That would make a nice sell at that point. If that holds, that would be kind of what I'd be looking for there. And know they've taken the gap away right away. Huh, interesting. Okay. There are small regular gaps. For this guy, this guy. All right, so that is it for me for today. I'm going to call it a day.
Are you going to do the team stuff now?
Yeah, well, let's see if we can get everybody on. So I'll call everyone who's on with us, and then we'll see if so okay. Peter, you don't have Teams up, right?
He doesn't have it up yet.
Peter said he's not going to be able to do the Teams thing today.
Okay. So Peter, all that was just a click of a button, and you'd be done already, right? So it's not like it's something that you have to go and jump in any hoops. But all right, I'll call it a day here, and thanks everybody for dropping in. And for those on YouTube, if you like what you're seeing, again, this was all for educational purposes, not intending for anyone to take any of our trades. But if you do like what you're seeing, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. And we'll see everyone on the morrow. Take care.
Thanks, Lennox.
All right. Welcome. Take care, everybody. I'll call everybody on Teams.
Okay. I hope I can see the call.
We shall see.
All right. Take care.